Dear students, I am Archana Dikshit from C.C. Shah Sarvajanik English High School. I welcome you all for the science class. We are going to study the chapter 5. The name of the chapter is The Fundamental Unit of Life. Weightage I have written for the first term, that in first terminal 7 marks is the weightage. Though you are supposed to do everything in the chapter so that you will have enough knowledge for your further classes also, and it will increase in your knowledge. The chapter is easy. I am giving you points, but the condition is that you listen our explanation. Means we should listen any explanation carefully. So you listen my explanation carefully so that you can understand. I am giving you the points only so that you can understand it easily. The term which we are going to discuss here is the cell, C-E-L-L. In earlier classes, you have the idea of the cell. So cell is not new to you, term wise. Means you understand the term, the cell. Here we discuss that there was a scientist called Robert Hooke. Now in Hooke, E is also there, H-O-O-K-E. So Robert Hooke was a scientist in 1665, the year in which he made his own microscope. That means he self-designed the microscope. He made his own microscope with the help of 2 lenses. Then he took the slice of the cork. Cork, you know, sometimes on the bottle also cork is put, or you must have seen in some bottle caps inside a thin slice of cork remains. So you should know that what is cork. Cork is a substance obtained from the bark of the tree. So that cork is taken and he took the thin slice of this cork and put it under self-designed microscope which he himself made. Self-designed means himself. He himself made it with the help of 2 lenses. Then he found a honeycomb-like structures. All of you know what kind of honeycomb structures. So you understand that honeycomb-like structures means this kind of hexagonal type of structure. So honeycomb-like structures, and these can be many such cells can be there in the slice of the cork. So what do you understand, that he was the first one who made the history by discovering these compartments like structures. You can say these are the little rooms which we will call them as cell. Cell is actually a Latin word which means little room. That is why this cell name was given to such structures. Now remember, all the living organisms, whether they are plant or they are animals, they are made up of such cells. Now one more point is there, that a cell here I am referring single cell. A cell can exist independently and can perform all its life processes. For example, amoeba. You know that amoeba is a single celled organism. Paramecium is a single celled organism. Means whole organism is made up of one cell only. Such organisms are called unicellular organisms. So when it is said that they can exist independently, means you understand that these organisms can live on its own. They do not require any other support. That is why we say that it can exist independently. And all life processes means digestion, secretion, then excretion, respiration, circulation, absorption, growth. These are called the life process. So it can take place even in one cell. One cell can have all such kind of life processes. Next, I told you that if many cells are there, then what will happen? They will form multicellular organisms. Most of the organisms which you see, they all are multicellular. For example, human beings, we are multicellular organisms. Cockroach is also multicellular organism. Earthworm is also multicellular. Banyan tree is multicellular organism. Neem tree is multicellular. Algae can be multicellular. Fungi can be multicellular. Thus, multicellular organisms can be many. So when you compare unicellular and multicellular organisms, you will find that in comparison to multicellular organisms, unicellular organisms are very less. Okay. So let us summarize what you just now we discussed, that Robert Hooke was the first scientist who discovered the cell. He discovered the cell with the help of thin slice of cork. Now you know what is a cork. Then he saw what kind of structures? He saw honeycomb like structures, which I have drawn here. And in these honeycomb like structures, he called them as cell. Now one cell can exist independently on its own. It can perform all kind of life process. Many cells can form multicellular organisms. Example, human beings, cockroach, cat, dog, neem tree, etc. Now meaning of the cell. Meaning of the cell is a little room, because it is a Latin word. Now I will try to tell you something, that this I am showing, this is a membrane from onion. As you can see, I have taken it. You can also take it easily. This is a membrane from onion. I will show you how I have taken out. It is very easy to take out this. You can take it, then here you will find one membrane. See, this I am taking out. This is a onion membrane. So what will happen, that when we put it here, you can see, it can be seen in the microscope. Then we find that there are the cells. If they are seen under the microscope, then they are the cells. These cells have nucleus on the side of the cells. Safranin can be put on this in the lab, and then it can be seen under the microscope, compound microscope, and you will see the cells in it. Okay. Now cell term is clear to you. Then you know many cells form a multicellular organism. Many cells form a multicellular organism. Now collection of these many cells. When many cells are there, then they collect and they form the tissue. That means many cells, a group of many cells is called tissue. A group of many cells is called tissue. When group of tissues form the organ, and various organs will form the system, and ultimately eventually all the systems will form the organism. So this way organism are formed. Again I am repeating, listen carefully. Many cells will be together. So you can say a group of many cells forms tissue. Then collection of tissues form the organ. So you suppose heart is there in our body. This is an organ in the body. Heart is an organ. Now how the heart is made up of? Heart is made up of from one single cell, too many cells. Then that means it forms the tissues, and then number of tissues will join to form the organ. So heart is an organ. Now similarly kidney is an organ of the body. Small intestine, large intestine, stomach, lungs, these are all organs in the body. They form the organism. Okay. Now one more term is there, that is a division of labor. A division of labor is seen in the tissues. Just now I told you a group of cells is called tissue. So then what happens? These tissues divide work among them. For example, in our body only if you see, then some tissues will work for heart system, that is called circulatory system for the heart. Some tissues will work for the digestion, that means in the stomach, suppose you can say. Some tissues will work for excretion, for kidneys, removal of the waste products. So this way all tissues are divided among cells for the functions. Now we take example of plants. In plants, some tissues are there which are working as root. Some tissues are there which are working as a stem. Some tissues are there which are working as a leaf. So this way they divide themselves for various functions. Now what you have to remember, that cells can vary in their size as well as in shape. Now how much size, which kind of size will be there or which kind of shape will be there, it depends on the functional requirement. That means functions of the cell. Size and shape of the cell depends on the function of the cell. Some cells can change their shape. For example, amoeba. And white blood corpuscles are also there which can change their shape. Some cells have almost fixed shape. Okay. Now you can say components. Some components remain inside the cell body. They are called cell organelle. Spelling is ORGANELL. Cell organelle. Now these cell organelle perform a specific function. I will give you the names later, Just now you try to understand that cell organelle perform specific function means particular function. For example, mitochondria. Mitochondria produces energy. Similarly, other cell organelle, I am taking the name, that is ribosomes. So ribosomes will be making protein. That means it takes part in protein synthesis. So this way we can say several cell organelle performs specific function, particular function. So now what happens? Cell is able to perform all the functions due to cell organelle only. It is like that, students, that I am explaining you understand, and then you write correct answers of it. So thus, what happened? That I am doing some function and you are also doing some function. Then altogether, all the functions are performed. Similarly here, the cell is able to perform all the functions. Why? Due to cell organelle. So this is the importance of the cell organelle. Various cell organelle perform different kind of functions. All the cells have some same kind of organelle. They may be small or large. For example, in case of plant cells, big vacuoles are there. In case of animal cells, small vacuoles are there or vacuoles are only absent. So that can be there. Otherwise, all the cells have same organelle. Next is cell theory. Cell theory was proposed by Schleiden and Schwann. Schleiden and Schwann are the name of the two scientists. They had proposed cell theory. Let us see in cell theory what is there. You find all living organisms are made up of cells. That you understand. All organisms are made up of cells. You can compare how we make a house. We make house with the help of bricks. Initially, first of all, one brick is kept. Then second brick is kept. Then third brick is kept. And this way thousands bricks are kept. And the house is made. Similarly, all living organisms are made up of cells, as the houses are made up of bricks. You can say organisms are made up of cells. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life, as brick is the unit of the house. If first brick is not kept, then house will not be made. Similarly here, one cell, then many cells. So cell is the structural and functional. Structure is also formed due to cell, and functions are also carried out by the cell. Then only organisms can exist. So we can say then only life can exist. Now third point is there, which was actually proposed by Virchow, one Russian scientist, that how the new cells are formed. So new cells are formed from the existing cells, pre-existing cells. You see that if you put a small plant in a pot and you give water, and it is getting sunlight also. So after 4-5 days you will see that it has grown. Now height is more. So it is possible due to pre-existing cells only. The cells which were already there, they divide and subdivide and they form new cells. So new cells are formed by the division of the old cells. Remember, new cells are formed by the division of old cells. That is why new cells are formed, and all old cells are replaced by new cells. This way growth and development takes place. Next is there, that is viruses. Viruses are non-cellular. You can say virus as such does not have any cell body. It does not have cytoplasm. It does not have nucleus. It is not having nucleus or cytoplasm. But means they can remain in dormant form, in inactive form for very long time. And when they get their proper host means here any other convenient cell. When they get their proper host, they multiply, they grow, and they start behaving as a living organism. That is why virus is also considered between connecting link between living and non-living body. Then other examples are also there. Some bacteria are there, some blue-green algae. Blue-green algae is also called primitive kind of algae. So they do not have nuclear membrane. You know a cell has nucleus, and that nucleus is covered by a thin layer that is called nuclear membrane. And cell organelles, you know, only components of the cells are called cell organelles. So bacteria and blue-green algae is primitive kind of algae which is not having the nuclear membrane. They may have the nucleus, which is called actually nucleotide, but they are not having the proper nuclear membrane or cell organ. Okay. Next point is there, that is the smallest cell in the planet, you can say, in the world, is mycoplasma. This name only you remember, mycoplasma. 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer. This is the symbol of micron. You can say micrometer. So micrometer, and the longest cell is the nerve cell, that is 90 to 100 centimeter in size. So you can imagine micrometer. 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 6 micrometer. Okay, so this you remember, micrometer, very small unit, micrometer, smaller than millimeter. Smaller than millimeter is micrometer. Now you can understand. 1 meter is equal to how many millimeters? 10 raised to 3 millimeters. So 1 meter is equal to how many micrometers? 10 raised to 6. It can be written like this. 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 6 micrometer. Longest cell you understood. Now we will do structural organization of the cell. We are not doing about components first. First we will take the outside part of the cell. So outermost covering of the cell, which separates contents of the cell from its external environment, is called plasma membrane or cell membrane. Outermost covering of the cell which separates contents from the, that means suppose something is there. Suppose one line I draw. When what happens? Inside something is there and outside something. So this is separating this. This is separating. This is internal environment. This is outer environment. So it is separating the internal or outer environment, or you can say it is separating the cell from external environment, is called the plasma membrane or cell membrane. Now I'll do its properties. It is very flexible. Plasma membrane is very flexible. Second, it is made up of two substances which are called lipid. Lipid is actually fat. It is made up of a kind of fat. So it is made up of lipid and proteins. Now the advantage of the flexibility. What happens since the plasma membrane is flexible, and I would like to add here, it is selective also. So certain substances can pass through it, through the plasma membrane from the environment. Suppose it has to take oxygen. So oxygen can pass through the plasma membrane. Suppose it needs water. So water can pass through the plasma membrane. So whatever it needs or require, whatever cell requires, that will pass through the plasma membrane. That is why plasma membrane is also called as selective in nature, or it is also called semi-permeable. So plasma membrane permits some substances to enter or exit also. Not only enter, exit also. Only certain substances, for example, carbon dioxide can go out of the plasma. So that is why it is called selective permeable membrane. Okay. Now here one term we are going to discuss in detail, that is the movement of substance in and out of the cell. Movement of the, just now I told you, plasma membrane can allow certain substances to pass through it, or it will throw out certain substances through the plasma membrane. So therefore movement are of two types, going in the cell and going out of the cell. So in and out of the cell occurs by two processes. They are called diffusion and osmosis. Main difference I tell you between diffusion and osmosis, that diffusion does not require any membrane to pass through it, but osmosis requires compulsorily the membrane to pass through it. So diffusion can be defined as a movement of molecules from the region of higher concentration to lower concentration. I give you one example. Suppose you take one glass, transparent glass in which you can see. Then you take 2-3 drops of ink and you put ink in the glass. Then what you will see? You will see that whole glass has turned into blue in color. The water has turned into blue in color. Why it happens? It happens because wherever you have put the ink, there it must be in higher concentration, and from there it will spread to lower concentration, and this way gradually the whole glass will have ink color in it. So this is the diffusion. Then the other is osmosis. Osmosis can be defined by the movement of molecules. In case of diffusion, we are telling about the solute. We have taken water. Water is a solvent, and the substance which we took, that was ink. So solute is dissolving from higher concentration to lower concentration. But in case of osmosis, it is very, very different. In case of osmosis, we take water molecules. Water molecules are moving from higher concentration to lower concentration through semi-permeable membrane. I tell you how. Suppose you take two glasses, glass A and glass B. In glass A, you have dissolved 1 salt of salt. In glass B, you have dissolved 2 spoons of salt. Then if I ask you that concentration of water is high in which glass, you will say glass A. Why? Because in that water will be more and the salt is less. In case of glass B, we have taken 2 spoons of salt. So therefore, here what will happen? Salt is more comparative to glass A. It is a relative quantity, means physical quantity. So here in glass A, you can say water concentration is higher. In glass B, you can say water concentration is lower. So when we connect it through the membrane, then water will flow from glass A to glass B. So this is called osmosis. So osmosis is actually the movement of water molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration through semi-permeable membrane. I think it's clear to you. Now, on the basis of the phenomena of osmosis, there can be 3 types of solution. One is hypotonic solution, second is isotonic solution, third is hypertonic solution. In hypotonic solution, what happens? Hypo. Outside solution of the cell has higher water concentration. So then what will happen? Water will enter. Because what is the definition of osmosis? That water moves from higher concentration to lower concentration. So water concentration outside is higher. That means solute is less. That is why it is moving inside. In that case, cell will swell up. In case of isotonic solution, the concentration of inside the cell as well as in outer environment of water, it is same. So no movement of water will take place and cell will be of the same size. In case of hypertonic solution, if the outside solution is having low water concentration and inside the cell it is higher concentration of water, that means what will happen? Water molecules will move from the cell towards outside. So as a result, what will happen? Cell will shrink. Thus these 3 are differences. So these you have studied about the cell membrane, plasma membrane, and related to all kind of activities.